it's Thursday, and it's time for another terrific every other Thursday video from koha-US. And today we're going to talk about tagging, and I am George Williams. I am the Next Search Catalog Coordinator at Northeast Kansas Library System.
And I'm Christopher Brennan with the Coeur d'Alene Public Library and the Cooperative Information Network. In addition to tags, we will talk about comments as well.
Yes, tags and comments, the two siblings of moderate usefulness in koha. I have some issues with comments because of the way people use them, and we'll get to that when we start talking about comments.
This video is sponsored by koha-US, your place to look for all things koha. Whether you're just starting out with koha, or you've been with koha for a while, koha-US is a great place to find resources, learn new tips and techniques, or connect with other users and libraries. Koha-US provides excellent information, both original and curated from around the world, including your favorite terrific every other Thursday training videos. You'll also find several special interest groups, or SIGs, to connect with, as well as our general monthly meetings where we gather to talk about the latest koha news. You should also check out the annual Koha Conference, which is held in various locations around the U.S. This year we'll be gathering in Round Rock, Texas. This is a great opportunity to meet with other users face-to-face, and build your koha network, as well as new friendships. And of course, don't forget about the great presentations. Koha-US is also actively involved in the koha community by contributing towards new developments. If you are interested in contributing towards koha-US funded developments, join the koha-US membership. Your annual membership builds the funds to sponsor new developments in the community. And as a member you also help shape koha-US with your membership votes, as well as receive a discount on the annual conference. You can also contribute towards developments through a direct donation, or by purchasing some great koha-US merchandise through our Threadless account. Visit us at koha-us.org to find out more.
I'm going to let you lead the way since this was your idea to do this video, so take it away.
Okay. So if you're not familiar with comments and tags, both are a way for patrons to interact with your catalog system so that they can contribute useful information. They might find something that might help people understand an item better. They can share their thoughts on something. They can also, with tags, they can add useful terms that might make finding like items more useful for other patrons. Both can be turned on and off in the system. Comments does not have as much robust control over it as tags do, as we will see. But you can set it up so that you can moderate tags. Comments automatically it looks like through the system settings, are automatically moderated, and we'll talk about what that looks like.
There's a little bit of automatic moderation, yeah. Well, one of the things I can say is that there is a good section in the koha documentation about comments. There is good information about how to turn on the comments and how to use them. And there's a separate section. The link that I just sent to Christopher is the manual section on comments from the staff side. There is more information in the manual on comments, also from the OPAC side. So let me find that link real quick. But there is good documentation for comments and tags.
Awesome, thank you.
So that's really useful if you don't have it turned on and you're thinking about turning it on. starting at the documentation that is in the Koha manual is probably a good place to start.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back. First of all, you will find both areas for moderation for the tags and comments under tools on the left hand side. So we have comments up here and we have tags down here. But before you can do anything with it, you need to make sure that you have those set up. We're going to talk about comments first on the setup. So here we go. So I just put in the search term comment, and if you scroll down here, you will find under the OPAC preferences features, you will find a setting here that simply allows you to allow or don't allow patrons to make comments on items in the OPAC. You can opt to show recent comments in the OPAC masthead. Do you know what the masthead is?
You know, one way we can test this if we turn it on to show recent comments. When we submit a comment, as part of this process, it'll show where that lays out.
Well,
there are a couple
that setting is already set to show, so if
that works.
So if we submit something and you actually have something that you're going to submit as a comment, so
and there are two other comments, or there are two other system preferences that do work with comments. One is called show reviewer, and the other one is called show reviewer photo.
Oh, yeah,
those two. And so we do at Next Search Catalog, we do have comments turned on, but we've always had show reviewer turned off, so that a patron's name won't be connected to the comments they leave. And there's another one there, show photo. If you have that set to show and you have people's pictures connected to their accounts in Koha, then it will also show the photo that's connected with their comments. But yeah, I've got a comment all lined up. And so actually, if you go back to the homepage in the staff client somewhere, once somebody submits a comment, if you reload the page down there in your messages, it's going to add comments pending approval. So when somebody submits a new comment, you're going to see that on the home page that there's a new comment waiting for approval.
And this will take you to the same tool as under tools.
Yep.
And I see that George has submitted a comment. This is a great book. I loved it.
Yeah. And that's what comments are supposed to be used for. You know, people leaving information about a book, suggesting it to other people, saying something thoughtful and clever about a title, you know, passing along information that other people might enjoy seeing. One of my issues with comments, this is another kind of comment that I see. So I've submitted a new comment.
Sure,
this book. Yes, I've seen this comment more than once, where somebody will they think that they've returned a book, so that they will leave a comment on the title, because they're sure they returned it, or you know, there are other questions about the library. I've seen comments, or what are your hours, or can you get this at the I'm at the Leavenworth Library. Can the Lansing Library buy this book? I've seen a lot of things that really aren't in the spirit of what I believe comments was created for.
Right. So let me show real quick here. So these are sitting in the tab that says comments awaiting moderation right now. If I go over to approved comments, nothing's there. And we won't show anything on the catalog page other than
Well,
what
you're in tags there from when we were setting up for this.
Yep. But you won't see anything over here until something has been approved.
Right.
So I'm going to go back over to that, and I'm going to approve the good one, and your options are to approve or delete. So if you delete, it's just going away. So we will delete this one. So that is no longer there. Nothing is waiting moderation anymore. I'm going to go over to approved comments, and we just have the good one. And so let me see if I refresh this page. I don't see anything to indicate recent.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Recent comments. Maybe
There you go.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, it shows up in they call this the masthead. I call this a menu.
Right.
So under recent comments, I will see that. And it was submitted by George because we have just the first name.
Right.
So excellent. So that shows up there. And because he submitted it, if you go to your account, you should, do we have a section for comments?
Let me go over to my account and see. I don't remember if let's see.
I know tags is here, but apparently comments, I don't submitted any on mine.
I don't see a tab for comments here.
Interesting.
I do see the one for tags.
So if there's a way to see the comments that you've submitted, I don't know exactly where you would go to see all of those. But
yeah, I don't know exactly where to go either, and that's
a little odd. I mean, unless it's hidden under something else,
which I'm not seeing it under anything else. So
it would be nice if you could see the comments that you've submitted. Okay, so good to know. All right, so now, so yeah, so we have those approved comments. Those are going to hang out there, and so anytime that somebody looks up this particular title, so I'm looking at the title. Isn't there a place that should show up, or is that only on the OPAC?
Yeah, there's a separate tab in the OPAC for comments when you look at that details page for that title.
So yeah, comments are showing up there, but I don't see it on the staff side, which is interesting.
It's really designed to be used in the OPAC, so I'm not shocked that it's not in the staff side.
It's interesting because it would be nice. I mean, staff might want to see it. I don't know why staff are being denied the option to see comments. I don't know what the logic it was behind that, unless somebody just didn't ever get the requests that staff want to see them. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Okay, so that's about all we have. So we've approved that comment. The pending message has gone away from the home screen. So now let's flip over to tags. Now tags, I did a search for the word tags, and tagging has a lot more options that are evident. We saw 3 on the comments here, plus there was one that was kind of off on its own about seeing that in the masthead. But for tags, we do need to allow tags, and you have the option of a tags external dictionary. I haven't used that, so I don't know much about that.
Well, this is another spot. I just put a link in the chat box so you can add it to the video. There is good information also on tagging in the Koha documentation. And the external dictionary is a way to set up a list of, like, to create a list of pre-approved words.
which could take
And it needs
quite
to
a
be in an
while.
ispell file, which I have never heard of
Yeah,
outside of this context, but it looks like it's a dictionary for spell checking.
interesting. That seems like that would be a lot of work to set up a file like that. Okay.
My guess is the reason you might be able to easily set up a file like that is maybe you were used to use a different ILS and you used it for a while and you had a list of tags that was in that existing ILS and so you had a resource that had words in it that you could then move over to Koha when you were
Nice.
migrating from one ILS to another.
Seems like it would be a little bit more work to go that route, personally, but but that is an option. It's like, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So then going on, we have tags input on detail, allow patrons to input tags on item detail page. So you can specify on the details page that they can or can't do tagging there, or you can also or not you can allow or not allow on lists.
On a list feature, yeah.
So that's nice. You've got a little bit more flexibility there. Then you have tag moderation. Here's where comments is forcing the moderation. Here you have the option to require moderation or not. So I think by I think by default it was set to don't require. Our libraries recently decided, well, I think we need to require that because we had some really random words that people were having to go back and remove. So it is needing some moderation, and I don't think that moderating this is any more taxing than moderating comments, in my opinion, but we'll see. And then you have a couple options to show how many tags are going to show up on the details of the OPAC, and how many tags are going to show up on lists. So you can adjust those as needed. And George is going to submit a tag. And I'm going to go back to my interface and wait for that.
Yep, if you reload, it should say tags pending.
There we go. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. Term doggies. Okay.
And if you click on the term, it should show you the items that are being tagged.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the way that I did these from the list where I had a list in the OPAC and I just checked the checkboxes on three in the list, and then told it to tag all three of those.
Okay.
So that way you can tag a bunch of things at once.
So, yeah, I mean, if the third one makes sense, the first two, I'm not sure. So I guess you have the option to remove a tag from specific titles if you want.
Or if you want to remove it from all of them, you can go back a page and just reject the tag, which I wouldn't reject the tag doggies. What I did, and I told you this before we started, what I did when I set up Koha in Idaho for our consortium was I just went in and I tagged one. I picked an item at random and I added as tags to that item. I added all of George Carlin's list of words you could never say on television.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rejected all of those. That way I would never have to reject those words again. If somebody tries to use one of those words as a tag, it's just automatically rejected. And that is a big advantage of the tags, is that they're automatic. I don't have to worry about somebody using one of those words.
Right.
The disadvantage I found with tags is that I made it possible for anybody at any library to approve tags.
Mhm.
And so if I look at my list of rejected tags for next search catalog, there's a bunch of things on there that just don't make sense.
Hmm.
Somebody got a little overzealous with rejecting tags. And so there's a list of perfectly innocuous words that are just banned now.
Right. And I will say that, okay, it shows a weight here. I'm assuming because it's showing 3, it's being used 3 times, technically,
Right.
being used 3 times. So those weights, I would assume, without looking further into the documentation, I would assume the more something is used, it's going to, sift more to the top of the number of tags that show up.
Yeah.
So the most used
Koha,
tags will show up in the top 10 that you've set for items, or the top 6 for lists, or whatever numbers you decide.
if you go to your own page, if you've tagged a lot of stuff and you go to your own account, you will see a tag cloud
Hmm.
that will have it's not limited uh, to just 6 or just it's not got those other limits.
Right.
It'll show you all the tags, and the issue that happens there is that if what we found, and we do have, there is a long-standing bug that unfortunately I don't have the bug number for. I should have thought to look that up before we started recording. That if you have a ton of tags, like we had one account where there were hundreds of tags in this account, the tag cloud is incredibly slow to load.
Oh, wow.
Because it's got to go and get the tags. It's got to find all the records that have those tags connected to them. And so if this was something that somebody did here at the library in Kansas before I started working here, they thought this would be a quick way to build like a list
Mhm.
and to make it easy for staff to build a list that could be collaboratively used for, I think it was done for cake pans. And then the account that they tagged all those cake pans with, if you try and load that account and go to the tag tab, it takes like 10 minutes to finish loading
Ooh,
because there's thousands of things in the tag cloud for that patron.
wow. Okay.
So that can be an issue too. And there is it's at the top of it's in the masthead
Okay.
where the recent comments are. There is a tag cloud.
I don't have, yeah, so
Yeah,
there's,
right there.
I don't have anything except for the one rejected Larkin that was not approved.
Right.
But so this must be the tag cloud you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So going back, so a couple things that I see about this is, yes, you could easily approve this, but or reject it, and that's going to be an all or nothing
Yep.
approval and rejection here. But I would suggest that if you are going to do this, not necessarily just blanket approve or reject, you might want to look in there and see if these things actually make sense that they apply, because I mean, somebody might have tagged a book that has absolutely nothing to do with doggies. If you want the word doggies in there, but
These all came on a search for the word dogs.
ah, so interesting. Good girl, bad girl.
The way that tagging was described to me when I first started using Koha was it's a way for patrons to catalog things. It's a
Yeah.
way for patrons to add their own subjects to items. The two things I was told is that, it's for patrons to use to add tags to the items and kind of help them track things. And the other aspect, the other thing I was told is that nobody does it. And that's what I really find is that we've had it turned on for a long time and there just aren't that many tags in our system because nobody uses it. I think tagging was an idea that came, tagging was something there used to be like a bookmark service. I don't remember what it was, but you could tag your bookmarks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one that was really popular, and I don't remember the name of it. But tagging was a big part of Web 2.0. And with Koha, I think it was added at that time. And the bottom line is just that, nobody uses it. So
We have more users. Some of our more robust users will use them.
yeah,
But then we have some that are using them a little too too freely, I guess. So
yeah.
I
So what does it look like to reject a tag? Is there a new tag in there you can
before I
reject?
get there, I just wanted to show, so I can look at the approved tags and I can see that particular tag and that its weight is 3 because it's being used on 3 items, but I can click on there. So if at any point you need to go back and say, you know what, this really doesn't apply to this, you could remove the tag at any point. It's not like set and done. So you could remove the tag at a later point if you decide that really didn't fit. So,
And the patrons can remove or delete their own tags too.
all right. So now I'm going to go back to main page. Oh, I have another tag pending approval. Let's take a look. What do we have here? Donzezeedoodles. Is that a word? I don't think it is a real word.
It's not a real word.
Okay. All right. So I don't like that word.
Yeah,
Let's
just
see.
kill it. Get rid of it.
Oh,
Oh, it's on the
okay.
Topeka school. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I don't like that. I'm gonna reject that one.
Good one to reject.
So that is rejected. Now it shows up in rejected terms. If I look over at rejected terms, these are the words that are rejected. And then that being in here as rejected automatically makes it so that if I were to go in and to suggest a tag, let me go find an item. And I'm going to say, oh, let's put that tag. And to find that on the OPAC, you're going to find
Go down a little further, right there.
there. So below the summary, add tags. This one was a little hidden for me. Comments, not so much.
Comments is a little easier to find. Yeah.
Tags is a little hidden. I'm going to put that in there and I'm going to put, nope, that's not it. Let me copy that word. Oh,
No, you didn't quite get it all.
didn't. Copy. There we go. I'm going to say, I want that word.
It'll show that it's been added, but if you go to your account and click on tags,
It is automatically not approved.
yeah,
Because it's been rejected. So, so anything that's been rejected, you don't have to deal with that again for approving, or which is nice. So it doesn't show up in pending; it just automatically gets rejected. And I can see that it's been rejected twice now.
right.
So even the rejections still get weights.
Yeah, you can see the things that you've tagged with rejected words on your summary page on your account page in the OPAC, but nobody else can see those tags in the tag cloud.
And if you don't want to see your rejected terms anymore, you could
Delete the tags.
delete them. And I'm curious, now that I deleted my rejected terms, does that change the weight? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And the bigger the weight, the bigger the word will appear in the tag cloud.
So I guess one could argue too, if you look at, if you review your rejected and you see there's like 150 weights on a word, on a term that you're kind of on the fence about, you could decide, well, there's a lot of people trying to use this term. It might be helpful. You could approve it. Later on, you could approve a rejected word. It looks like.
Yes.
So if you wanted to do that, you could. So there you have it. You have your comments and you have your tags.
But I think that's my biggest issue with comments is that people will use them to try to send a message to the library rather than to leave a comment about whether or not they liked a book.
Yeah.
And my complaint about tags is that just nobody uses them. At least that's my experience. They just don't.
We've
They're-
had better success here. We
Yeah.
have some avid users that provide a lot of great comments to especially our DVD collection, because they'll make comments about formats and more information about the movie and what they found, especially historical movies. So we do get some good users on the comments. The tags get used somewhat, but not nearly as much as the comments. Now, one could argue that the tags don't get used as well because, like I said, if I go into so I can see in here, comments has its own tab, which is nice. So it makes it really straightforward, but tags is kind of hidden. It would be nice if tags were treated as another tab, maybe, and maybe it might get a little bit more use out of it, but it is kind of hidden at this point. Why tags are treated so differently from comments, I am not sure. Maybe it's because of the way it's laid out and showing just under the summary. They wanted the tags to always show. I'm not sure, but this could be one reason. I mean, they probably are thinking of tags more along the lines of ratings. And so they're keeping that together. So I mean, this is a very good reason why it could be getting less use in our case, and in your case, I don't know.
Could be. I'm just looking at my list of rejected tags and wondering why a staff member at one library rejected the tag romance. Somebody got a little overzealous with the rejections, is what I'm noticing.
And you can see who rejected it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you could always have a little chat with them if you want.
I can just, they don't work here anymore, so I can just unreject it. That's one of the things you can do, is you can go back to an existing comment and move it from the approved, rejected to the approved list. So
yeah.
So it was done at a library long enough ago that there's been that person isn't there anymore. So so I don't know what they were thinking of. But it's interesting. They rejected about 200 different things.
Wow. And then I believe
maybe that's why nobody's using comments, is because all the interesting ones got rejected.
Right. And you bring up a good point. If something is approved, we know that if something was rejected, you can go and approve it later. Likewise, if something is approved and then you go back and look and you think, oh, that's you know,
What were they
discussing
thinking?
that, or policies have changed or whatever, you can go through and unapprove it. So um, that is interesting. I know I see that on the comments and on tags. Do we have that ability as well? Yes, on tags we can go and reject something that's been approved. So I do like the flexibility of both of those. You can adjust those as needed as times change or policies change or whatnot. So, or staff go away that were a little
Yes.
hard-nosed. So
Yes, the
but we
same
do
staff
agree.
member rejected the word Kansas,
Yeah. So
which
technically, it means that your staff that have access to approve or deny tags or comments, they could go in there and approve some of your
yeah,
unapproved words that
right.
that you initially set. So there is that.
Yes, the naughty words list is in danger.
Yes. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we pretty much covered it.
Um,
I think that tags and comments, tags have the potential to be really useful. And comments, are really useful too. I just find them frustrating sometimes.
yeah. And you know, possibly let's see here. It might be nice. I don't know. I don't know if anybody would ever want the ability to have comments and not moderate them. I think that's, setting yourself up for a little bit more of an issue. I mean, obviously you can go in and adjust the comments that have been approved or
Right.
actually can you reject comments if they're automatically, well, not comments, but tags. Can you reject? I think you can reject tags that are automatically approved. If you choose not to moderate them, yes, I believe you can reject things that are automatically going through. So if you want to go through there and look through them, I mean, if the list grows beyond, the time that you have to go and scan through, I would suggest moderation if you get a lot of use out of it. But if you want to turn it on and you don't want to moderate, you don't have to. But comments does not give you that option to turn moderation on or off at this point. So, and I don't know why you would want to have comments without moderation. So
Yeah.
seems like a no-brainer. But anyways, that's all we have for this topic. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you find it useful. If you did, please make sure to find this video on YouTube and like it or comment. Love to hear comments.
And say hello to us when you're in Texas at the koha-US conference next month.
Absolutely. So for now, we're gonna say Donzezeedoodles.
Donzezeedoodles. Yeah. Yeah. I thought we rejected that. All right.
See you later.
See you later.